I became ill at 15. So I left school with absolutely no qualifications. I lost my memory and I had to be retaught everything I know. And then I went back into education as a mature student, and the teachers didn't know how to support me. So I'm only recently learned that they actually said no to bringing me back on to college to learn. So that was the number one barrier. That was an educational barrier, where the actual problem there was the teacher didn't know how to support. Yeah. So, and then going back into employment, it probably wasn't possible for me at all. I had so many needs, so many access needs. I would have needed a carer, I would have needed a hoist at the stage that I was a wheelchair user. And that would have meant access to transport, carers, and help just to be able to get into a job. But what I have really noticed with being an entrepreneur is the fact that everybody undervalues your work, and they believe that you should give your knowledge for free. And I don't know any other sector that would allow that to happen, or that it happens in. So they would tell you, oh, we'll bring a variety of people in, you do your talk. Don't even give you the money for petrol or up the road. So there's a lot of barriers, and there's a lot of misconceptions out there that we are, I suppose, a freebie. And a lot of the time, employers are looking for 2-3 years of, experience. But if you can't literally get on that first wee rung of the ladder into anything, how are we going to compete against that? Yeah. So, again, because we are a rural area, it's transportation. Yeah. As a wheelchair user, years ago, Ulster Bus took one wheelchair, but you had to let the office know 24 hours in advance. So you just can't, it's not just go at the drop of a hat and just say I'm going today and that was it. Long way to go. It's nowhere near like the cities. When I go over to London or go to Dublin, the infrastructure is just incredible. And you go to Dublin and every single bus has a lower, access, and it's fantastic. Yeah. And you're not waiting an hour, In some of the places, they may only have an Ulster Bus route maybe once a day. Yeah. So to get those people in and out of jobs, it's not physically possible. Yeah. The majority of people with access needs are probably outside of towns, yeah. And we have a fantastic bus. It's called Fermanagh Community Transport, and they will go out to the people in the urban or the rural areas, and they will bring them if they have access needs. Now you need again to have that booking system, and you could be around the whole country before you're off at your job or whatever, but it's an alternative. It really is. It's brilliant. I think it needs to start with society. It really does need to start with society. We've noticed it with Just Us. There was a gap for social life, and again, rural area, you've got your buildings with stairs. So whenever I was out wanting to do pubs and clubs, I couldn't actually do it. So that was a gap I realised that we needed to change. So we hired hotel rooms and we brought everybody in on the access, brought the DJ in. So we've opened that up by doing that, but it's at the ground where everything needs to, society itself needs to change in order to change the mindset of the disabled person, because there's a lot of mindset issues with disability as well, because they've been brought up with these barriers. They feel that it's not something they can ever do as work. It starts with society. It starts with the mindset change with society. It then needs to change the mindset of the disabled community. It then needs to go into education and show that there is opportunities within education for people with disabilities to go higher. It needs to show that there is opportunity for a long-term career or job, and not day opportunities. Not day opportunities, and not to be institutionalised going into day centres. So when I was integrating back into society, my option for me was day centres. There was no emphasis that I could do anything more. That was what you did. I had this stubborn, overactive brain that I was like, I'm not going to be sitting here all the time. I need to do something. But unless there is emphasis put on, you can do this, this is an opportunity for you, you need momentum, and you need something to encourage the disabled people to continue on with it. Society would have people with a disability, that have it, that they won't go on and do anything, that's what people think, but there are so many people out there with a disability that are doing fantastic work. They're out in careers, and their ability is probably next to none because they've got resilience. They've got so much more to offer than probably somebody that is sitting next to them and they don't realise. That would be a big thing. Employers don't realise the abilities and the capabilities that so many people have if they just were let. Accessibility is a big thing, especially in rural Fermanagh. A lot of the buildings, a lot of offices, a lot of places have stairs. If they say they have a lift, is it maintained? Have they evac chairs? Are the doors automatic? You know, it's simple wee things, but again, in the cities, you're going to have those bigger opportunities. And it is a barrier being in a rural county. It definitely is. I would say, think big, aim for the moon, and go for it. I know a lot of people with disabilities who are in employment and doing very well at it. And just show your ability and push on, and someday something will work. It's about making society realise that you have your place in life and you've got an ability, and go and do your talent. But we also need to have the education system having courses for us. There needs to be a lot more opening there. Once people leave school, there's maybe a course open for them for 3 years in college, but they need to know that there's a further career process available for them after that. Not they have to go to day centre, because that is what society dictates at the minute. But what I would say to people is never give up, because I lost my memory when I was 15. I left school with no qualifications. I was stubborn and I went back and I did small courses and I did free courses, and then I got the learning bug. And I went back and did a social science access diploma. I did a foundation degree. I did a degree, all with the help of support with a scribe and a reader. Then I took a big leap of courage and I wanted to go on further, so I wanted to do a master's. Then to realise that if I wanted to go to uni, I wasn't going to get the support I had. So I had to learn everything by my voice and do my dissertations and everything by my voice. And I was suddenly had support in college for somebody to help type, and then I suddenly was on my own, and it was daunting. But sometimes it's those scary things that you push through that challenge you. So I did my master's, and through my master's I realised that there was a massive gap within the travel industry, and that we are losing a lot of pounds and purple pound, which is the spending power of the disability, on accessibility within hospitality. So that put me on another push to try and change things. And then I started Travelese. So I'm developing a web solution to help people with access needs find adequate accommodation. And my speaking career has gone crazy for somebody that was so shy to use their voice, but it was the mission behind me. As I say, my mission is bigger than my fear. So I went and got some courses to try and get my voice improved, or what to say with speaking. And now I'm being asked to go and do keynotes on different stages, especially within hospitality. I'm going to Malta this year. I'll be back to New York. So the opportunities have they're just incredible. So if you keep pushing and you don't give up, the possibilities are endless. On an application form, actually, I was told to aim for the moon. So I put everything down that I wanted to do. And just before I submitted it, I just heard somebody say about a TEDx. I didn't even know what they were really about. And I thought, I'll put it down. And there's definitely something about putting what you want out there. And within 3 months, I had a phone call and was being asked to do a TEDx. So last year, I completed that as well. So there's major opportunities if you just go and grab them. I know that my voice needs to be heard and it needs to change society, so I keep going. So I realised that in Fermanagh we are very backward and we are quite shy. So I set up Island Voices in July, which is a Toastmasters, and it is an inclusive club, so everyone is welcome and everybody belongs. And it's about realising that we all have challenges and we all have something to give this world. In fact, there's an access to work in England, but we don't have it over here. We may have it, but they don't work for entrepreneurs or if you're self-employed. So for the like of myself, going to different talks and doing advocacy work, I always require a carer with me. And so you're paying double for transport, for flights, accommodation, but there is no reimbursement for anybody that's self-employed. That is a very big barrier. The other thing is people are worried that if they get into employment, that their benefits are going to be reduced, and that is the benefits that's keeping them and being able to keep going daily, because they have an illness or they have a disability or a health condition and nobody knows when that health condition is going to hit, you know, so they don't know if they're going to be off work. So they need to know that they're going to be financially secure. And it is difficult, you know, if they maybe need support to be in their job, there's going to be extra support needed to get those people out of day centres. And it frustrates me because I understand there's day centres and there's institutions and people need a break in their caring role. But we're putting these people into a room, into a couple of rooms, 2-3 days a week, maybe 5 days a week. They are not broadening their horizons. They just need something to show them that there is more to life, and they don't need to be there till they're 65, till they're 85, unless they absolutely have to be. I have been through my worst days. Nothing can be worse than that. So I keep pushing. But I definitely have learned that if somebody says you can't do that, well, that near enough turns me into watch me. It's a determination. But also, I notice if I find that there's a gap in society or that there's mistreatment or that something shouldn't happen, it churns up on me to the point I can't forget about it. And if I'm tired or it just won't go away, and I'll probably have to do something about it. And I think it's because I've been through all of that, and I don't want the young ones coming up now to feel that way. I became ill at 15, and you know, yes, I would have loved to get out of the bed, and the determination was there. But if somebody had said to me way back, this is an opportunity for you to be this in your life, there was no opportunities then. So I've had to make them myself, and that shouldn't be the case. Yeah. You know, there's opportunities for so many other people, and I think those opportunities should be available for us.